Welcome back. With us right now is Diane Masson, author of Your Senior Housing Options. There we are, right there. There's the book. Here is Diane. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Nice to see you here again. And today we are going to talk about something that people get confused about, I think. Medicare and Medicaid, or when it comes to California, Medi-Cal as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with Medicare. And when I'm out there speaking and putting on educational presentations, seniors have so many questions. So let's talk about what Medicare does not cover first.
Right.
Medicare does not cover long-term assisted living, and it does not cover long-term skilled nursing.
Right.
So what it does cover is it covers your doctor bills, it covers inpatient hospital stays, it can cover hospice, it can cover home health, and it can cover short-term skilled nursing. And so, but it has to be a qualifying stay in a hospital in order for that to kick in. And so when somebody's in the hospital, and it kind of depends now, it could be either a 2 or 3 night qualifying stay. You got to check with the hospital.
Right.
If you 1 night's in the emergency room, that doesn't count. So it's always good to have an advocate or a power of attorney or yourself saying, hey, is this a qualifying stay so that I'm going to be covered by my Medicare when I go into short-term skilled nursing? So let's give an example. Let's say somebody broke their hip. They went to the hospital. They had a qualifying stay, and then they can have up to 20 days of skilled nursing completely covered by Medicare. That includes physical therapy, pharmaceuticals, everything. But what if you need more than 20 days? How does that work? Well, it can go up to 100 days, but at any point, if you have plateau in your therapy and you're not getting any better, then Medicare cuts you off.
Okay.
So at those points, once you hit day 20, then your supplemental insurances can kick in if you have them.
Right.
You may have to do some private pay. And so it's important to ask a lot of questions and be aware of everything as you're going through this process.
Okay, and of course, like supplemental insurance would be like Medicare Part F, something like that, or maybe
sometimes people have an HMO.
Exactly, yeah. Now, Medicaid, which again throughout the country, but in California, it's pretty much known as Medi-Cal, but that's a different situation, isn't it?
It's very different, and so this is something where somebody has spent down their assets. Right. And they need help. So let's talk about what kind of senior housing is available to somebody on Medicaid. Long-term skilled nursing is available, and in some states, assisted living. And so if you are in a state that does offer assisted living with Medicaid, it's kind of unusual, and if you do find a place, they're very far and few in between, and the ones I've seen are not the best.
Right.
So with Medicaid, or in our state, in the state of California, it's Medi-Cal, what is covered is once you've spent down your assets, it will cover skilled nursing care. You do have to pay whatever monthly income you have coming in, and it pays the difference. So let me give an example.
Right.
My mother was in a higher level of care for 9 years, and she was in skilled nursing here in California for 2 years. And my mom had 3 different incomes coming in. She had Social Security, an annuity, and a pension.
Okay.
And she did not have enough money to make her skilled nursing monthly bill. So Medi-Cal paid for the remainder of it. And so she puts all her monthly income in, they pay the difference, and then they gave my mom $35 a month spending money.
Oh, gee.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. And so if you need a haircut, you can't even get a haircut in a skilled nursing for $35. So you got to save up for 2 months to do that. So it's not the best choice if people have a choice.
Right.
And other thing people need to know is that there's a lot of rules and regulations with it. When you fill out the paperwork for it, it's a stack about this high. And it's very complicated. You got to prove everything. And if you need dental care, you only get a dentist coming in to see you once a year.
Okay.
So there's just a lot of little innuendos with it that people don't realize, and they just think, oh, I'll go on Medi-Cal or Medicaid.
Right.
And if you don't have to, it's not the best choice in the world.
Exactly. What about veterans benefits? Do they pay for the housing, senior housing costs?
Veterans
Assisted living,
benefits,
that sort of thing.
there was a large senior housing provider in this country that was telling people, hey, move into our retirement community and we'll get you signed up for veterans benefits. But it doesn't work in independent living. It only works when you need care. So that company got in a
Okay.
lot of trouble. So it works for assisted living, works for skilled nursing, works for home care, works for home health, but you need to have care like the activities of daily living, like bathing, dressing, medication management. So I suggest that people go on to va.gov online and they can find out what the latest requirements are.
Okay.
You do need to spend down to a certain amount, to only have a certain amount of assets left in order for it to kick in. And it's also required that you have served at least 1 day of active war in order to be a veteran and get these benefits.
Okay.
And so they're available for veterans and they're also available for surviving spouses. So a veteran might get about $2,000 a
Right.
month and a surviving spouse $1,000 to $1,200.
Exactly.
So it's in that ballpark.
Okay. So obviously for veterans, they need to check where they stand on that and, you know, kind of figure that out. So in a sense, again, it's about, like anything, pre-planning and helping yourself as best you can and not relying just simply on, well, when the day comes, hopefully something will happen for me or work out, right?
Correct. And it's important when people are out there looking at their choices and planning ahead, it's important to have a power of attorney.
Right.
That suddenly you may not have a voice
Yeah,
and you need
exactly.
somebody that's going to be a good voice for you. And when you're out exploring your options and people walk into a retirement community, assisted living or skilled nursing or memory care, how do you know if it's great or mediocre? And
Right.
you can't really tell by looking around at the lobby. The only way to tell is to ask the right questions, and that's what I teach in
Right.
the book.
Exactly. And also your website, right?
Yes.
tipstoseniors.com. People can find out information on that as well. And also, if any club here wants you to come by and as a speaker, that sort of thing, you can do that as well. Because I know you've done that in the past, right?
I do, and I can, yes.
Yeah. And that would certainly be helpful because, again, it's planning ahead is what you need to do. And it doesn't matter what it is, right? Your retirement, your finances, whatever it might be, planning ahead and your senior care, your long-term senior care, you never know what's going to happen, right?
Exactly. And, you know, when people are looking at colleges for their children, they go out and look at all the choices.
Yeah.
And this
Yes,
is the
they do.
same thing. People need to take time to educate themselves. And
Yeah,
that's what I'm
exactly.
passionate about, is educating seniors.
Right. Diane's book is available on the usual places like Amazon, right?
Yes.
And if you want to download it there or buy it through Amazon, you can do that there. Off your website, can they do that as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
tipstoseniors.com.
Okay, so they can buy it off the website as well. And it's a good book. It's easy to read. It really is. You could probably read it at night, to tell you the truth. And it gives you a lot of good tips on all kinds of different things. Certainly helpful. And the sooner you get that information, the better, right? Don't wait till you need it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true of so many things. Good to see you as always.
Great to see you too. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for having me.
Take care. We'll see Diane again, and we'll be right back.